My name is Marcus Thompson. I'm 34 years old, and I live in Seattle, Washington, where I work as a software engineer at a tech startup. For most of my life, I was the perfect son, the one who always called home, who never missed a holiday, who bent over backwards to make my mother happy. But 3 days before Christmas last year, my phone buzzed with a text message that made my blood run cold. It was from my mom. "We've decided Christmas is better without you this year. Don't come home. The family agrees it's for the best." 23 words. That's all it took to shatter everything I thought I knew about my family. If you're just starting to watch this story now, I need you to understand something. What happened after I replied to that text changed not just my Christmas, but my entire relationship with my family, my sense of self-worth, and what I understood about unconditional love. If this story is touching your heart, please hit the like button to bring a little light to this season. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next life stories, and tell me in the comments where you're watching this video from and what time it is there right now. It makes me really happy to know which corner of the world is listening to me. To understand how I received that text, I need to take you back to my childhood in Portland, Oregon. I grew up in what looked like a perfect middle-class family. My father, Robert, was an accountant. My mother, Patricia, was a real estate agent. I had one sibling, my younger sister, Vanessa, who was born when I was 5 years old. From the moment Vanessa arrived, something shifted in our family dynamic. It was subtle at first, so subtle that as a child, I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But looking back now, I can see it clearly. Vanessa could do no wrong. When she broke something, it was an accident. When she got bad grades, the teacher was unfair. When she threw tantrums, she was expressing her feelings. I, on the other hand, was held to a completely different standard. When I broke something, I was careless. When I got bad grades, I wasn't trying hard enough. When I expressed frustration, I was being dramatic. I remember being 7 years old, coming home excited about getting an A- on my spelling test. I ran to show my mom, thinking she'd be proud. "Only an A-?" she said, barely looking up from the paperwork she was doing. "Your friend Tyler got an A+, didn't he? You need to try harder, Marcus." That same year, Vanessa brought home a C on her math test. My mother stuck it on the refrigerator with a smiley face magnet and said, "Math is hard, sweetie. I'm proud of you for trying." I learned early on that nothing I did would ever be good enough. But I kept trying anyway, desperately seeking the approval that always seemed just out of reach. In high school, I was a straight-A student. I was captain of the debate team. I volunteered at a homeless shelter every weekend. I got into Stanford University with a full scholarship. My mother's response? "Well, your father and I always knew you were smart. It's nice that it's finally paying off." Vanessa barely graduated high school. She went to community college for 1 semester before dropping out. My mother's response? "Not everyone is meant for traditional education. Vanessa is creative. She'll find her own path." The double standard was exhausting, but I told myself it didn't matter. I was building my own life, my own success. I didn't need their approval, but deep down, I desperately wanted it. After college, I moved to Seattle for my job. I called home every week without fail. I came home for every holiday: Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, my mother's birthday, Vanessa's birthday, my father's birthday. I sent gifts. I sent money when Vanessa needed it, which was often. I helped my parents with their mortgage when my dad's accounting firm had a slow year. I did everything a good son was supposed to do. And in return, I got criticism, complaints, and constant reminders that I could be doing more. "You only stayed 3 days for Thanksgiving this year," my mother would say. "Vanessa stayed a whole week. You only call once a week now," she'd complain. "You're getting so busy with your fancy job that you don't have time for family anymore. Did you see the flowers Vanessa sent me for my birthday? They were so thoughtful." "Oh, you sent money? That's nice, but it's not the same as something personal." Nothing was ever enough. But I kept trying. Until last Christmas. If you're connecting with this story, take a moment to subscribe right now so you don't miss what happens next. This is where everything changes. To understand the Christmas text, I need to tell you about Thanksgiving. I flew home to Portland for Thanksgiving week, taking time off work that I really couldn't afford to take. We were in the middle of a major product launch, but family comes first, right? I arrived on Tuesday evening, bringing expensive wine for my parents and a designer handbag I'd saved up for months to buy for my mother. "Oh, Marcus, you're here," my mother said when she opened the door. Not a hug, not excitement, just a statement of fact. "Hi, Mom, I brought you something." I handed her the gift bag. She opened it, glanced at the handbag, and set it aside. "That's nice. You can put your things in your old room. Vanessa's in the guest room." I'd always stayed in the guest room when I visited. It had a comfortable queen bed and its own bathroom. My old room had a twin bed and shared a bathroom with the hallway. But I didn't say anything. I just took my suitcase upstairs. Vanessa arrived on Wednesday morning, bringing nothing. No gifts, no wine. She'd driven from Portland where she was currently between jobs and living with her boyfriend. My mother greeted her with squeals of delight and a tight hug. "My baby's home. Oh, I've missed you so much. Come in. Come in. I made your favorite cookies." The differential treatment was so blatant it was almost comical. Almost. Thanksgiving Day was a masterclass in dysfunction. I spent the morning helping my father cook while my mother and Vanessa watched the Macy's parade, drinking mimosas and laughing. "Marcus, can you peel these potatoes?" Dad asked. "Marcus, can you baste the turkey? Marcus, can you set the table?" Meanwhile, Vanessa did nothing. When I finally suggested maybe she could help, my mother snapped at me. "She's relaxing, Marcus. She's had a hard few months. Not everyone has a cushy tech job that pays them a fortune. Some of us are struggling." I bit my tongue and went back to peeling potatoes. At dinner, the conversation somehow turned to my career. "So, Marcus, still doing that computer stuff?" My uncle asked. "Software engineering, yeah. We're about to launch a new app that." "Sounds boring," Vanessa interrupted, and everyone laughed. "Vanessa's been working on her art," my mother said proudly. "Show them your Instagram, honey." Vanessa pulled out her phone and showed everyone her Instagram account where she posted amateur watercolor paintings. They were fine, nothing special, but you'd think she was Picasso from the way my mother gushed. "Isn't she talented? I keep telling her she should have a gallery show." "That's great, Vanessa," I said genuinely. "Are you taking any classes or?" "Not everyone needs formal training to be an artist, Marcus," my mother said sharply. "Vanessa has natural talent. She doesn't need to be like you, always needing validation through achievements." The irony of that statement, coming from a woman who'd never validated a single achievement of mine, was not lost on me. After dinner, while I was washing dishes, alone, naturally, I overheard my mother and Vanessa talking in the living room. "I don't know why he even bothers coming home," Vanessa said. "He just walks around acting superior to everyone." "I know," my mother agreed. "He's changed since he moved to Seattle. He thinks he's better than us now with his big salary and his fancy apartment." I'd never said a word about my salary. I'd never bragged about my apartment. I'd never acted superior to anyone. But in their minds, I was the villain. That night, lying in my childhood twin bed, staring at the glow-in-the-dark stars I'd put on the ceiling when I was 10, I made a decision. This would be my last Thanksgiving here. I didn't know it then, but the universe was about to make that decision for me. I flew back to Seattle on Friday morning, relieved to be escaping the toxic environment of my childhood home. December was busy at work. The product launch was successful, and I was in line for a promotion. I was dating someone new, a woman named Emily I'd met at a coffee shop. Life was good. As Christmas approached, I started making my usual preparations. I bought gifts for my parents and Vanessa. I booked a flight to Portland for December 22nd through the 26th. On December 22nd, I was at the office finishing up some last-minute work before my vacation. My suitcase was packed and in my car. My flight was at 6 p.m. At 2:30 p.m., my phone buzzed with a text from my mother. I expected it to be something about what time I was arriving or asking me to pick up something on the way. Instead, I read, "We've decided Christmas is better without you this year. Don't come home. The family agrees it's for the best." I stared at the screen, certain I was misreading it. I read it again. And again. My hands started shaking. I immediately called my mother. It went straight to voicemail. I called my father. Same thing. I texted my mother. "What do you mean? What's going on?" No response. I texted my father. "Dad, what's happening? Why am I not welcome at Christmas?" No response. Finally, I texted Vanessa. "Did you know about this?" 3 minutes later, she replied, "Yeah. Mom talked to all of us. We think it's better if you don't come. You always make everything about you and it ruins the holidays. We want to have a nice Christmas without the drama." I sat in my office, staring at my phone, feeling like I'd been punched in the stomach. Ma? What drama had I ever caused? I showed up. I brought gifts. I helped cook. I did dishes. I kept my mouth shut when they criticized me. Where was the drama? My colleague, Jason, walked by and noticed my expression. "Hey man, you okay?" I don't think I'm going home for Christmas. Family stuff?" I showed him the text from my mother. Jason's eyes widened. "Dude, that's brutal. What are you going to do?" "I have no idea. Tell me in the comments right now where you're watching from and what time it is there. Your support means everything to me during this season." I spent the rest of the afternoon in a daze. I canceled my flight. I sat in my apartment that night, surrounded by wrapped presents for people who didn't want me around. I kept checking my phone, hoping for a follow-up text, an apology, an explanation. Something. Nothing came. On December 23rd, I woke up to a group text from my extended family. My aunt had sent out a message, "Looking forward to seeing everyone at Patricia and Robert's on Christmas Eve. Can't wait for Patricia's famous prime rib." I wasn't included in the plans. I'd been erased from the family Christmas like I never existed. That's when something inside me snapped. For 34 years, I'd bent over backwards for these people. I'd swallowed my hurt, ignored the favoritism, accepted the double standards. I'd convinced myself that if I just tried harder, was just a little better, did just a little more, I'd finally earn their love. But I never would. Because the problem wasn't me. It had never been me. The problem was them. So I sat down at my laptop and I wrote a reply. Not a text, a full email. To my mother, my father, and Vanessa. CC'd to the entire extended family who'd received that group text about Christmas Eve. This is what I wrote. Subject, Christmas plans. Mom, Dad, and Vanessa. I received your text informing me that Christmas is better without me and that the family agrees it's for the best. First, let me say, you're right. Christmas is better without me. For you. Because I won't be there to cook while everyone else drinks. I won't be there to clean up while everyone else relaxes. I won't be there to receive criticism while Vanessa receives praise for doing literally nothing. But let me be clear about something. Christmas will also be better without you. For me. I spent 34 years trying to earn your love and approval. I was a straight-A student. I went to Stanford. I have a successful career. I'm financially independent. I volunteer in my community. I'm a good person. And yet, nothing I ever did was good enough for you, Mom. When I got an A-, you told me to try harder. When Vanessa got a C, you put it on the fridge. When I got into Stanford, you said you always knew I was smart. When Vanessa dropped out of community college, you said she was creative. When I send you money, it's not as thoughtful as Vanessa's flowers. When I call every week, it's not enough. When I come home for every holiday, I'm somehow still not present enough. I have been the scapegoat of this family my entire life. Vanessa has been the golden child who can do no wrong. And you, Mom and Dad, have enabled this toxic dynamic for decades. So you know what? You're doing me a favor. You're releasing me from the exhausting, soul-crushing obligation of trying to win love from people who are never going to give it. I'm done. I'm done being criticized for not being perfect while Vanessa is praised for being mediocre. I'm done being treated like an ATM in an emotional punching bag. I'm done sacrificing my peace of mind for people who wouldn't cross the street for me. From this day forward, I'm choosing myself. I'm choosing my peace. I'm choosing to spend my time and energy on people who actually appreciate me. You wanted Christmas without me? You got it. Not just this Christmas, but every Christmas going forward. Along with Thanksgiving, birthdays, and every other holiday where I've shown up and been made to feel like I don't belong. To the extended family who received this, I want you to know why I won't be at Christmas this year or any year going forward. I was uninvited. Via text. 2 days before Christmas. Because apparently, I caused drama by existing. I wish you all a Merry Christmas. I genuinely do. I hope it's everything you wanted it to be. As for me, I'll be having the first peaceful Christmas I've had in 34 years. Don't contact me unless you're ready to genuinely apologize and change. I won't hold my breath, Marcus. I read it 3 times. Then I hit send. And I felt lighter than I had in years. Subscribe to my channel right now because what happens next will surprise you even more than what you've already heard. The responses started coming within an hour. My aunt, Marcus, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. This explains so much. My uncle, your mother had no right to treat you this way. We're here if you need us. My cousin, I always thought something was off with how they treated you versus Vanessa. Good for you for standing up for yourself. But for my immediate family? Silence. Complete radio silence. Until Christmas Eve. At 11 p.m., my phone rang. It was my father. Hello? Marcus. His voice was tight. What you wrote was completely inappropriate. You embarrassed your mother in front of the entire family. I told the truth, Dad. That's not embarrassment. That's accountability. You don't understand. Your mother has been crying all day. Vanessa is upset. You've ruined Christmas. I ruined Christmas? I laughed, but there was no humor in it. Dad, they uninvited me via text. 2 days before Christmas. How exactly did I ruin anything? You're being dramatic. Your mother just thought, she thought you might be more comfortable not coming this year after how tense Thanksgiving was. Tense? It was tense because I was treated like garbage while Vanessa was treated like a princess. As usual. That's not fair. Your mother loves you both equally. No, Dad, she doesn't. And you know it. You've watched it happen for 34 years and you've never once stood up for me. There was a long silence. Then, quietly, what do you want from us, Marcus? I want you to acknowledge what you've done. I want a genuine apology. And I want things to actually change. Not just words, real, lasting change in how I'm treated. Your mother will never apologize. You know how she is. Then I guess we're done here, Marcus. I hung up. On Christmas morning, I woke up in my apartment in Seattle. For the first time in my adult life, I had nowhere to be. No family dinner to attend. No gifts to give to people who wouldn't appreciate them. No criticism to endure. No double standards to witness. Just peace. I made myself a nice breakfast, French toast with fresh berries and real maple syrup. I watched Christmas movies in my pajamas. I called Emily, and she invited me over for dinner with her family. Are you sure? I asked. I don't want to intrude. Marcus, my family would love to meet you. Come over. No one should be alone on Christmas. So I went. And Emily's family was warm, welcoming, and kind. Her mother hugged me when I arrived. Her father asked about my work with genuine interest. Her little nephew showed me his new Lego set and asked me to help him build it. It was the best Christmas I'd had in years. In the weeks following Christmas, my extended family reached out regularly. My aunt invited me to her New Year's party. My uncle took me out for coffee when he was in Seattle for business. My cousins added me to their group chat where they shared memes and made plans to meet up. The family wasn't broken. It was just reconfigured. The toxic core, my mother, father, and sister, were cut out. But the healthy relationships remained and actually grew stronger. My immediate family, however, doubled down on their narrative that I was the problem. My mother posted on Facebook, "Sometimes you have to accept that people change and distance themselves from family. All we can do is love them from afar and hope they find peace." The post was accompanied by a photo of her, my dad, and Vanessa on Christmas morning, all smiling. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Vanessa sent me a series of angry texts. "You're such a selfish asshole. Mom has been crying for days because of you. We tried to be nice by uninviting you quietly and you had to make a huge scene. Don't expect any of us to be there for you when you need us." I blocked her number. In January, my father sent me an email. It was 3 paragraphs of how hurt my mother was, how I'd always been sensitive, and how families should forgive and move on. Not once did he acknowledge anything I'd said in my email. Not once did he take responsibility. Not once did he apologize. I didn't respond to that either. But then, in February, something unexpected happened. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Have you ever had to cut off toxic family members? Your stories help others feel less alone. In mid-February, I received a Facebook message from someone I hadn't heard from in over a decade, my childhood best friend, Tyler. Tyler and I had been inseparable from age 7 to 18. But when I went to Stanford and he stayed in Portland for college, we drifted apart. I hadn't spoken to him since my college graduation. His message said, "Hey man, I saw what happened with your family over Christmas. I need to talk to you about something. Can we video chat?" Curious, I agreed. That evening, we got on Zoom. Tyler looked older, we all did, but the friendly face I remembered was still there. "Marcus, I need to tell you something I should have told you years ago." He took a deep breath. "Your family's treatment of you? It wasn't just in your head. Everyone saw it. My parents saw it. Your teachers saw it. I saw it." "You did? Dude, it was so obvious. Your mom was brutal to you and treated Vanessa like she could do no wrong. When we were kids, my mom used to get so angry watching it. She wanted to say something, but she didn't know if it was her place." I felt tears prick my eyes. I thought maybe I was being too sensitive. Like my dad said. "No, man, you were being gaslit. Constantly. Look, I want to tell you something else." He paused. "Remember in high school when you won that debate tournament? The state championship? Yeah. My mom didn't come to the final round because she had to take Vanessa to a doctor's appointment for a cold bright. Well, after you won, you called your mom excited. And she told you it was niece but she couldn't talk because she was busy." I remembered. That had hurt so much. "I was at your house the next day," Tyler continued, "and I overheard your mom on the phone with her friend. She was complaining about how you were too competitive and how all your achievements were just you seeking attention. She said Vanessa was easier because she didn't need constant validation." I couldn't speak. "Marcus, the whole time we were friends, I watched your mom tear you down and build Vanessa up. And I never said anything because I was a kid and I didn't know what to do. But I should have said something. I'm sorry. It's not your fault, Tyler. Maybe not. But I want you to know, you're not crazy. You're not imagining it. Your family was abusive. Emotionally abusive. And what you did at Christmas? Standing up for yourself? That took guts, man. I'm proud of you." That conversation healed something in me I didn't even know was broken. For so long, I'd questioned my own reality. Was I too sensitive? Was I imagining the differential treatment? Was I making a big deal out of nothing? But Tyler confirmed it. An outside observer. Someone with no stake in the situation. He'd seen it too. I wasn't crazy. I was just finally seeing clearly. Spring came. And with it, a new lightness in my life. I got the promotion I'd been working toward. Emily and I became official. And she was patient and understanding as I worked through my family trauma in therapy. Yes, therapy. I'd started seeing a therapist in January, and it was one of the best decisions I'd ever made. My therapist, Dr. Williams, specialized in family dynamics and childhood trauma. What you experienced is called scapegoat and golden child syndrome, she explained in one of our early sessions. It's a common dynamic in narcissistic family systems. One child, the scapegoat, is blamed for all problems and can never do anything right. The other child, the golden child, can do no wrong and is excessively praised. Why does that happen? Often, the scapegoat child threatens the narcissistic parent in some way. Maybe you were too independent, too successful, too different from what your mother wanted, so she needed to cut you down to maintain control. Vanessa, on the other hand, is dependent and doesn't challenge your mother, so she's safe to praise. Will my mother ever change? Dr. Williams gave me a sad smile. People with narcissistic personality traits can change, but only if they want to. And most don't want to, because that would require them to admit they were wrong. Based on what you've told me, your mother shows no interest in self-reflection or change. So I was right to cut contact? Marcus, cutting contact with abusive family members, even parents, is not only okay, it's sometimes necessary for your mental health and well-being. You gave them 34 years. You tried everything. They didn't change. You're allowed to protect yourself. Those words freed me in a way I can't fully describe. In April, my aunt invited me to her daughter's wedding. Your mother and Vanessa will be there, she warned. But I want you to know you're invited and welcome. If you choose not to come because of them, I'll understand. But if you want to come, I'll make sure you're comfortable. I decided to go. It was my cousin's day, and I wasn't going to let my mother take that from me. The wedding was in Portland. I flew in the morning of, and I'd be flying back that evening. No overnight stay. No opportunity for extended family drama. When I arrived at the venue, my aunt hugged me tight. I'm so glad you came. Your mother knows you're here. I told her to be civil or leave. Thanks, Aunt Marie. I mean it. I've watched her treat you horribly for too long. No more. Not in my house. Not at my daughter's wedding. The ceremony was beautiful. My cousin looked radiant. And when it was time for the reception, I strategically seated myself far from my mother's table. But she found me anyway. During the cocktail hour, as I was talking with Tyler, who'd also been invited, my mother approached Marcus. I didn't expect you to come. I turned to face her. Aunt Marie invited me. It's her daughter's wedding. Of course. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. You look well. Thank you. There was an awkward pause. Then she said, you know, what you wrote in that email was very hurtful. What you did was hurtful, Mom. Uninviting me to Christmas via text was hurtful. Treating me like garbage for 34 years was hurtful. I never treated you like garbage. You're being dramatic. And there it was. The gaslighting. The refusal to take accountability. You know what, Mom? I'm not doing this. Not here. Not on my cousin's wedding day. If you want to have a real conversation where you take responsibility for your actions, I'm open to it. But if you're just here to tell me I'm dramatic and sensitive, we're done. You always were so cold, she said, her voice bitter. Just like your father's side of the family. I almost laughed. My father, who enabled her behavior for decades, was apparently now part of the problem too. Enjoy the wedding, Mom. I walked away, and I felt nothing. No guilt, no anger, no sadness, just nothing. She had no power over me anymore. Subscribe and hit that like button. Share in the comments what country you're watching from and what time it is there. Your support helps me keep sharing these stories. It's been a year since that Christmas text. A year since I cut contact with my immediate family. A year since I chose myself. And it's been the best year of my life. Emily and I moved in together last month. She's met my extended family, my aunt, uncle, cousins, Tyler and his family. They all love her, and she loves them. Your family is so warm, she said after a dinner at my aunt's house. I can't believe your mother isn't part of this. She's missing out on so much. Her choice, I said simply. I haven't heard from my mother since the wedding. My father sends me occasional emails, awkward, surface-level updates about their lives. I respond politely but don't engage beyond that. Vanessa is apparently engaged now. I found out through social media. I wasn't invited to the engagement party. I didn't expect to be. But here's the thing. It doesn't hurt anymore. For so long, I thought I needed my mother's love to be whole. I thought I needed my family's approval to be worthy. But I don't. I never did. I am worthy because I am. Not because of what I achieve. Not because of what I do for others. Not because I'm perfect. Just because I exist. My therapist helped me understand that the love I was seeking from my mother, unconditional, affirming love, was something she was incapable of giving. Not because I wasn't enough, but because she had her own deep issues that prevented her from being the mother I needed. It wasn't my fault. It was never my fault. Last Christmas, my first chosen family Christmas, was magical. Emily and I hosted dinner at our apartment. Tyler and his wife came. My aunt and uncle came. A few friends from work came. My apartment was full of laughter, warmth, and genuine love. As we sat around the table for dinner, my aunt raised her glass. "I want to make a toast," she said. "To Marcus, who had the courage to choose his own happiness and peace. To Emily, who loves him exactly as he is. And to all of us, for being lucky enough to be part of this beautiful chosen family. Merry Christmas." "Merry Christmas," everyone echoed. I looked around the table at these people who showed up for me, who celebrated me, who loved me without conditions or expectations, and I realized, my mother was right. Christmas is better this way. Just not for the reasons she thought. If you're watching this video and you relate to my story, I want you to know something. You are not obligated to maintain relationships with people who abuse you, even if they're family. Especially if they're family. Blood doesn't give someone the right to treat you poorly. Being a parent doesn't give someone a free pass to emotionally abuse their child. You are allowed to set boundaries. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to choose peace. Will it be hard? Yes. Will people judge you? Probably. Will there be moments of guilt and doubt? Absolutely. But on the other side of that difficulty is freedom. Peace. The ability to build a life surrounded by people who actually love and appreciate you. Some people will say, "But there's your parents. You should forgive them." To those people, I say, forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. I've forgiven my mother for being incapable of giving me the love I needed. I've accepted that she has deep issues that prevented her from being a good parent to me. But forgiveness doesn't mean I have to subject myself to continued mistreatment. I can forgive from a distance. I can wish her well and still protect my peace. If you're in a toxic family situation, please know. You're not being dramatic. You're not too sensitive. You're not imagining it. You deserve better. It's okay to walk away. Find your people. Build your chosen family. Surround yourself with people who celebrate you, not tolerate you. And if you've already walked away from toxic family members, I'm proud of you. I know how hard that was. I know the guilt, the grief, the complicated emotions. But you did it. You chose yourself. And that's something to be proud of. This Christmas, as I write this, Emily and I are planning our second annual chosen family dinner. We've added more people this year. Her parents are coming. Tyler's bringing his kids, a few more friends from work. My aunt asked if I'd thought about reaching out to my mother. "It's been almost 2 years, Marcus. Don't you think it's time?" "Time for what?" I asked. She hasn't apologized. She hasn't acknowledged anything. She hasn't changed. Why would I subject myself to more of the same? My aunt sighed. "You're right. I wish things were different." Me too. But wishing doesn't change reality. And I'm done sacrificing my peace for her comfort. Yesterday, I got a Christmas card in the mail. From my mother. The front said, "To our son at Christmas." Inside, she'd written, "Thinking of you this holiday season. Love, Mom, and Dad." No acknowledgement of what happened. No apology. No accountability. Just a generic card. As if the past 2 years of estrangement never happened. I showed it to Emily. "What do you want to do with it?" "Nothing," I said. And I put it in the recycling bin. Some bridges are meant to be burned. And that's okay. Because on the other side of that burned bridge is the life I've built. Full of genuine love, authentic relationships, and actual peace. My mother texted, "Christmas is better without you." She was right. Just not in the way she meant. Christmas is better. Because I'm finally free. To everyone watching this video, I want to thank you for being part of my journey. Sharing this story hasn't been easy. But the messages I've received from people in similar situations have made it worthwhile. If this story touched your heart today, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Tell me in the comments where you